I never thought we'd get a story with a time-traveling toilet, and yet here we are. Welcome back, my friends. It is time for us to talk about episode 3 and episode 4 of Kite Man. Hell yeah! I gotta say, the more that I watch this show, the more that it is getting me on board with it, and I figured that's probably what was gonna happen. I just love how wacky it is. It's just a good time, honestly. It's just fun. It's just a fun romp. Like, I'm watching a lot of other serious stuff right now, and I like that this is just fun. I think that's really great. So we're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4 in this review. So just a fair warning, spoilers ahead. I mean, I don't really think this is a show that is really about the spoilers, because it's more just about the jokes, the characters, just a good time, but we're going to be talking about it. So if you're a person that spoilers matter for you for Kite Man, heads up. In episode 3, I will say this episode started off a little bit interesting for me, where I just felt like, you know, I find the Queen of Fables and Bane to actually be more interesting than our main characters here of Kite Man and Golden Glider. Now, this kind of shifted partway through the episode, but when we started off, that's kind of where I was at. However, maybe that's less of a dig at Kite Man and Golden Glider, and is really more of praise to Queen of Fables and Bane for being just such fun characters that I'm excited to follow their journeys as well. Bane also kind of gets like a little bit of a subplot in this, and Queen of Fables kind of joins Golden Glider on one along with Malice. So in this episode, what ends up happening is we have Villigans, which shows up, which is a franchise, and they build their newest location across the street from Noonan's, and Kite Man and Golden Glider have to deal with this. At the same time, they're also dealing with some relationship drama where Kite Man has looked on Golden Glider's computer and has found out that she has this checklist for her relationships, and that after a certain point, once you're past that year mark, basically, she believes that you should either be living together or you should just break up. Now, they've passed that point and they're not living together. So Kite Man is basically like, oh no, am I in trouble? Is this not good? And he decides that that's fine, he can fix it. He's just gonna ask Golden Glider to move in with him, and she turns him down, surprisingly, even though that her checklist says that's the thing that she wants. So what's going on with that? We're going to figure that out throughout the journey with Villigans. So Villigans is very fun. I really loved the design for Villigans. Villigans is basically this gimmick restaurant. It's like a themed restaurant where all of the servers are dressed up as famous villains, and Kite Man, when he goes over to Villigans, finds out that Kite Man is not one of those famous villains that is in the establishment. They have Calendar Man, but they don't have Kite Man, which I think is super funny. I felt really bad for Kite Man, actually, when he's like, oh, no Kite Man, and Bane's trying to make him feel better by being like, well, it'd be really hard to find someone to be as awesome as you, and Kite Man is just like, well, no, it's fine. It's alright, man. It's cool. I get it. I'm just not that villain. People don't want to be me. I'm not cool. Poor Kite Man. But you know what? Kite Man is cool. He goes hard in this episode in a way that he goes very villainous. I feel like this whole episode is about just how evil everyone kind of is here in a weird way. Golden Glider, her whole thing of why she doesn't want to live with Kite Man, we find out when she goes to the spa, because when Villigans opened, they gifted them this basket to Noonan's, and it came with these spa vouchers. So rather than deal with her relationship issues and go with Kite Man, Golden Glider suggests that she should take the girls, and they shall go and have a bonding day. And it's during that day that she confesses that she's just worried she's going to kill Kite Man, because her powers are unpredictable, and she doesn't know. She just randomly kills people sometimes, just the thing that happens. Meanwhile, I love how Kite Man's story is kind of opposing hers. I feel like this episode is just really well done. His subplot is that he's trying to get rid of Villigans to prove himself to Golden Gliders that she won't break up with him, and he's handling it, and he is suggested to just, you know, kill the owner of Villigans, and then the problem will be resolved. But he doesn't want to do that because he's never killed anyone before. I also just love that's how villains solve problems. They're like, we have this problem, what should we do? I don't know, just kill them. Like, just get rid of them. Why wouldn't you just do that? You're a villain. And in the end, both Kite Man and Golden Glider are made to think that the other was killed by the owner of Villigan's, who, yeah, the spa day, that was a trap. I love how that was a trap. Like, I was just like, not even thinking about it. This whole story is so wacky. It's a really wacky episode. Somehow the next episode is even wackier. But what I like about episode 3 is that it's super wacky, and yet it feels very neatly resolved in the end. It's kind of great. Golden Glider and Kite Man end up believing the other was killed because Baby Doll, who owns Villigan's, says to Kite Man that Golden Glider was basically killed in this attack that happened at the spa, where she sent an army of masseuses to masseuse? What's the plural of masseuse? Is it masseuses? I think it's masseuses. Sent an army of masseuses to kill Golden Glider and Malice and Queen of Fables. However, what Baby Doll doesn't know is that Golden Glider went all crazy and ended up killing all the masseuses after Baby Doll believed that Kite Man had been killed, because in that gift basket was also a bomb that went off. But Kite Man managed to chuck it last minute into Villigan's, conveniently blowing up Villigan's, which I also love how all of these things just feel so convenient, and yet it works. I do wish we'd had a little bit more with Kite Man, but we do kind of get it at the end, where when he is talking to Baby Doll and she says, well, it doesn't matter because, you know, like, Golden Glider's gone and I killed her, and then he snaps and he just ends up beating her up. And the reason why this is controversial, I don't even know how I can say this. I don't think I can say this on YouTube, but Baby Doll is 47 years old, but she does not look 47 years old. So this video ends up going viral of him, and he's like, do I look like a jerk? And everyone's like, oh, doesn't matter. Because he does. My favorite line as well in this episode comes from Baby Doll, who admits to Kite Man that she's trying to run them out of business so that she can build a big deck over there. And she says, what can I say? I love big decks. I love a little bit of wordplay. Both of these episodes have some killer lines in them. So in episode 4, this is my favorite episode that we've had of the entire season so far. I really loved it. We talk about Golden Glider's childhood. And this is something, when I was talking about episode 1 and 2, I saw people asking about it in the comments, and we were kind of discussing of, like, I was saying how much I love that Golden Glider is highlighted in this show, and I just feel like she is such an OP character, but we don't see that a lot in the comics. I just think her powers are really cool, and I like that they've really elevated her in this show in terms of what she can do. Yet I feel like she's weirdly mysterious, especially when, you know, she does have this connection to Captain Cold, who's her brother. We never get into any of this stuff, but finally, guess what? We're getting into Golden Glider's childhood. So this is, you know, after resolving episode 3, Kite Man and Golden Glider do agree to move in together. Golden Glider confesses, you know, she was just scared of killing Kite Man. He says, if I'm going to be killed by anyone, I would want it to be you, and I wouldn't want to be with anyone except you. And she's like, I don't want you to be with anyone else except me either. And if someone's going to kill you, I would like it to be me, or something like that. They have this really touching, weird back and forth promise to each other. So episode 4 is them moving in together, and then when they're moving in together, Kite Man realizes that Golden Glider doesn't have a lot of pictures that she's bringing. Like, Kite Man has all of his baby pictures, his family pictures up on their wall, and he's like, we never really talk about, like, your childhood. Like, what's up with that? And while he's calling her out on that, Bane, who has helped them move, needs to use the bathroom, and they find out that above Noonan's, in their apartment, is a time-traveling toilet. Well, they don't find out for a while, but Bane travels back in time. He writes a message on their wall where they're removing wallpaper, knowing that they'll see it, but they never fully read it. So they only read, like, part of it, and then they get back into their own conversation. And then later in the episode, they're like, wait a minute, is that what's happening? Is Bane time traveling, and that's why things are getting weird? And yeah, that's what happened. Bane went back to the 80s, and he actually ended up back at Noonan's on the day, as we learn in the episode, that Golden Glider's parents were killed. And the reason that she doesn't like to talk about her childhood, as we find out from Kite Man doing some snooping, and actually we do get Captain Cold in this, who's living in an ice cream truck, which, it's just hilarious. It's just really, really good, this episode. We find out that the reason she doesn't want to talk about her family and her childhood is because she believes that she killed both of her parents. And they were all at Noonan's, and her powers manifested, they went haywire, and that's what happened. And Kite Man's like, that's really weird that you wanted to own Noonan's with me, though, then. And she's like, well, I thought maybe I could, like, resolve my trauma and, like, build new memories. And he's like, I don't know if that's a good way to deal with that. So then he goes back in time to try to save her parents, to resolve the trauma so that their relationship won't end, to save their relationship. And then she goes back in time. And then it's just wacky time adventures. Fun fact, they don't really fully fix it. I think everything plays out how it would have originally. I think this is a paradox. I think this was a paradox. But we do find out that her mom did survive, but Golden Glider never knew this. So her mom is out there, so we get a little bit of a mystery cliffhanger ending with her mom being imprisoned somewhere. Also, Bane fell in love with her mom, so I don't know what's going to happen if we see her again, even if she's older. Are Bane and her mom going to be in love? I don't know if Bane's still going to be into her. I don't know if that's going to come back around. I really hope it does, honestly. This episode was just so good. I love time travel. I love time travel, and I love that it was a time traveling toilet. This episode felt very much in the vein of the Harley Quinn animated series. It felt very Harley to me, and I really, really liked that about it. Also, Bane has the best line in this one. My favorite line in this one. You know it's a good episode when I'm writing down lines that I like. That's what I'm going to say about that. Bane says, I sure as shit am not doing 2 sequels to this damn story. In reference, of course, to Back to the Future, which has 2 sequels to that damn story. But I digress. Those were those 2 episodes, and honestly, I feel like this show is just getting better for me. I like that we have a through line, but I like how each episode is really its own individual story. I know I said this in episodes 1 and 2, but it continues to be a thing, and I just like how there are threads that are leading us through the story, but at the same time, each episode is like, well, this is the one where Villigans appears, and this is the one with the time-traveling toilet, and these felt very distinctly that, unlike episode 1 and 2, but I think episode 1 and 2 are a little less neatly packaged just because they are setting up everything. So they need to be what they are for the setup. And I can't wait to see what other episodes come and what other kind of wacky adventures everyone's going to get into, because if episode 3 and 4 are any indicator, and if it's just going to keep getting wackier and wackier, by the end of this season, I'm definitely going to be in love with this show. I love wacky stuff, and I love when wacky stuff somehow can feel so perfectly placed, like it just fits so well. It fits so well with these characters, because I just feel like Kite Man and Golden Glider are just very ridiculous characters. So to see all of this happening around them, it just makes a lot of sense, and it feels like it fits. Even though it's so off the wall, for them, it's not too off the wall, if that makes sense. Kind of similar to Harley Quinn, honestly, who can get into wacky adventures because she is a wacky character. She's wacky in a different way, though, but I would say that Kite Man and Golden Glider are also pretty wacky. So I'm very curious to see where we're going to go with Golden Glider's family stuff. I'm glad that we got into it. So for those of you that were waiting for, the snarts to appear, we're snarting it up. I don't know why I said that, but I did. Kite Man, what are you doing to me? All right, friends, that's it for this review for these 2 episodes. I really liked them. I just think the script and the stories are really coming along here now. We're really chug-a-lugging. What is happening? Kite Man is making me say wacky stuff. This is not my fault. This is all Kite Man and Golden Glider. I feel like I'm channeling them. Overall, I would say that episode 3 for me was an 8 out of 10. And episode 4, I think, was a 10 out of 10. It was perfect for me. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that episode. So, yeah, these were both just really solid. I can't wait to see what comes up next. Let me know what you're thinking of the show so far. Are you still liking it? I know today is Tuesday, so there is a new episode. Tuesday at the time of this recording, so I'm going to watch that one as well, and I'll come back. I might keep doing these, though, in 2 episode batches, because I kind of like them like this, because they are shorter, and I have a little less to say about them, so maybe we'll keep doing it this way. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what you're thinking of the show so far in the comments below. How are you enjoying it? Are you still here for it? How do you feel it stacks up in comparison to other animated series, adult animated series, superhero series? Let me know. I'll see you next time, and until then, friends, stay nerdy.